let me formally welcome the 16th edition of the Executive Intelligence Management course of the National Institute for Security Studies, NISS. Let me formally welcome them to the State House here at Marina. Let me, on behalf of the government and people of Lagos State, welcome all of you outstanding Nigerians, identify foreigners that are also with us, to formally welcome you to Lagos State, the Center of Excellence, the state of aquatic splendor, the commercial and economic nerve center of our country, the heartbeat of our nation, the state that when it sneezes, almost everybody in the country catches cold. We don't want it to sneeze. And like you said, the joy and pride of the black race, because this is the largest concentration of black population in the entire world. And we're indeed happy that it is in our country, that it is in our state. I want to formally welcome all of you individually and collectively. I bring you greetings, warm felicitation, and the highest level of regard to your institute and to your persons. So first, let me confess, when I was told about the planned visit, what they said to me is that, they're all DSS people. And because my director too had mentioned it to me, so I got it wrong. And I thought, everybody were an operative. But listening to the diverse experience and the flow of participants, extremely very encouraged, and I'm indeed excited that it's not limited to only one arm of the service. You've embedded it with other agencies and parastatals and, of arms of government, in which I imagine the experiences will have been rich, will be deep, and it will afford everybody to see things differently, from every other person's view. And I want to indeed congratulate the leadership of the Institute for keeping it alive, turning it from a small training school to a national institute of international repute. I want to commend the visionary leadership. I want to commend the current leadership for staying clear of, of the vision and for keeping it abreast. I also want to say that, a lot of people don't know, that all of these capabilities are available in a country. A lot of people, especially people in the private sector, do not have any iota of knowledge to know how rich, how blessed, how diversified this country is. And what I want to advise, that, international agencies like this should not be limited to only the federal, agencies or federal offices, Knowledge, they say, is critical, and knowledge is life. When people come and sit with classes like this, it gives people a better idea, a fresher idea, and people will be able to understand even the challenges we have as a country and as a people, and they can indeed take it back, and turn better leaf. I'm also happy that you've extended this same invitation to us as Lagos State, because we also have Lagos State staff that are MNI, You know, they've been to Kuru. I mean, a lot of times we have several senior government officials, permanent secretaries that have attended it, and we will take it up. You know, the SSG herself, she was a one-time permanent secretary, one-time head of service. So, but she missed MNI. Don't worry. You know, but I mean, this presents another opportunity, and I think the experiences, you know, that will be shared, you know, at such engagement, you know, will be life moving. And so once again, I want to welcome you, and I want to say that I imagine that it's been a very useful, I mean, 1 week in Lagos. I've looked at the program, and I can see that a lot of my cabinet members, colleagues, have had interactions with you at one form, because I was wondering when the head of the team were mentioning, you know, things like resilient office and SGD, and I'm saying somebody had actually, you know, used their security, you know, apparatus to flashlight and know what exactly is happening in Lagos. But given the fact that they have all turned up to give an account of their ministry, of their agency, I believe it has given, you know, a well-grounded view of what our modest, you know, and contribution has been in Lagos. You know, so in the last 4 years, we've had, you know, an economic agenda that has driven, you know, our sense of purpose, which we call the project THEMES, you know, THEMES, and each of those pillars, we have pushed them, you know, extensively to ensure that we can indeed bring about purposeful governance and give our citizens the real dividends, you know, of democracy, you know. And in each one of them, I dare say that we have impacted life, and we've been able to, given the resources that is available, we've been able to showcase that indeed life can be a lot better. We're not fully there yet, because indeed, for government and for governance, it's a continuum. You will never finish it. But given the challenges that we had a year and a half of COVID, in which you also know that Lagos was the epicenter. We're in the heart of it. We're the one that rescued the nation largely, if I dare say, you know, at the time in which nobody even knew, you know, how these things were going to turn. So it slowed us down a bit, but we're able to very quickly put ourselves together and still deliver on all of the pillars. You know, the first pillar there, I'm sure they've explained, which is traffic management and transportation, you know, speaks to the issues around we doing what you call an integrated urban mass transportation solution, right? And in that area, we've extensively developed capability, you know, on the road infrastructure, which is using BRT, on the waterways infrastructure, using our lag ferries, you know, and on the rail infrastructure, which is on the blue line and the red line, which we have completed. We've commissioned the blue, the red is also ready, you know, to be completed and commissioned. I'm sure maybe they took you to one or two of those train stations, you know, to see what it is. It's real. We're the first subnational in anywhere in the world that will take a real project in itself and, you know, bring it to reality. And I like the fact that the head of the team have also challenged us that do that green line and purple and all of them. We want to. It's just that water is more than the gari itself. So but we want to be very creative, and that's why we have like an office of PPP. So once we've done proof of concept, and the world has seen that it can be done, and we have done it, it makes it a lot easier for you to be able to secure and get both local and international investors who will want to also help you take over all of the other, you know, rail projects. Haven't done extensive, you know, feasibility and viability studies for them. You just hand it over to them, and they will look at the numbers, and they will see the traffic opportunity, you know, and they'll be able to invest. So that's one of the things that we're looking forward to and hoping that we can achieve. The only mode of transportation that this government has not touched is the air transportation, and we're looking at it very seriously. FAN, through the Minister of Aviation, where's FAN? Thank you, gave us approval to build a new airport in Lagos, you know, and it's something that we're holding very dear to our heart. We're working on it. to ensure that we can, on our own, build another airport, and we're looking at all the other complementary things that goes, with that. So with that, the government will have been able to create an opportunity for all means of public transportation, water, air, road, rail, so that we can make the city livable. The whole idea is not about us, it's about our citizens. It's about the people that come into the city to be able to move from one part or the other seamlessly. It's for people to be able to, as is done in other big cities, have a journey experience that they can very well be comfortable. If it's going to take me 30 minutes from one part or the other, it's not more than 30 or 35 minutes. Predictable journey time. And that's what makes a city resilient and makes it productive. That's one of the whole aim of what we're trying to do. The other pillars are also very similar. The H is health and environment. If you don't build a healthy citizens, you don't build a wealthy citizen. So we know how it is. We're building one of the biggest hospitals in the country right now, pediatric hospital, mental health hospital. You can see that there's a lot of mental health issues. People run away from it. It's not my portion. It's not something. It is real. And so we need to be able to face it frontally and deal with it. So we're doing that. We're building, the first class, utilizing first class tertiary health facilities where all forms of chronic health, can be treated. Let's keep our people wealthy, healthy. Let's improve, the life expectancy of our citizens. Let's do that in an environment that is also safe and secure. You've talked about the low line of Lagos, how we're below the sea level. So we usually have, the usual flash flood. So if you see on newspaper, Lekki is flooded, Lekki is submerged in the TV or newspaper, well, there are some are obviously over-exaggerated. We know what the issues are. These are flash floods that within 3, 4, 5 hours, they will recede and they will just go down. And we've all seen it that climate change is real. Everywhere in the world, in the heart of London, in New York, flood happens. So when you see flood, it's not something that it is the nature responding to how well we have not taken care of the heart. And but we're lucky that, we open them up and we don't have extensive, environmental issue. But, but we'll continue to make sure that,
Not just that, inclusive governance in the sense that you also accommodate people from other states. In your cabinet, somebody from Delta State. I've not stopped talking about that. Even my own state, I know you have people in your cabinet here. And that is the future of Nigeria that I think everybody should hope for. So when I see that what you're about is a renewed hope, I know that you actually mean it. And I want to say thank you very much. Another area I want to underscore is the fact that you run a water-friendly government. It's the first time I will see a one-stop secretariat. You have everything well integrated in the secretariat. A wellness center. Wonderful. Every ministry in the same location. Shopping mall. And to cap it all, you have a fleet of vehicles to and fro for workers. I mean, that is humanizing the workforce. And I think we have done excellently well in that regard. And I want to say thank you very much. Thank you very much. You are not one of the, well, let me not say one of, your government does not idolize poverty. You have done excessively well. And I just hope and think and pray that this will continue. You are showing the way, you are walking the way. Yours is a transformational leadership. So thank you very much, sir. Now, I also need to thank you, sir, for the crop of people you have put together to welcome us, to host us, and to carry and coordinate the affairs of our state here. I'm particularly happy and proud of my own namesake, Olabisi. That's my name too.
Oh, really?
Yes. You know what, sir? I asked for Ewagari. Lo and behold, the following morning, they served Ewagari. I said, how can you come to Lagos without eating Ewagari? And we found it. I told her about agede bread. She looked for it. We talked about yo-yo. We found it. So, yes, Akon, please help us to appreciate them. We appreciate you, the SSG ma'am. Thank you so much. And on behalf of the Commandant of the National Institute for Security Studies, Alhaji A.S. Adenrele, our team lead, Dr. A.A. Karim, our supervisor, eminent faculty members, distinguished participants. We want to say we have had a wonderful one-week stay in Lagos. I was telling somebody that Lagos is one place I never wanted to live in, but she almost persuaded me to relocate to Lagos. It's been a wonderful one-week outing. I want to say thank you so very much, sir. May your reign be long. Amen. And this is a stepping stone. The Lord will take you to greater heights. Amen. You will finish well. Amen. You will finish strong. You will not miss eternity. Amen. Thank you so very much.